Alright guys, this is the video for factoring using bottoms up. I have like a step process here for you, and I want you guys to write this down in your notebook. Put like a big highlighted box around it. Make sure that you have it so that you can refer back to it when you are factoring using this method. Let me see if I can brighten this. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but as I go through the examples, it should. It's better. Okay. All right, so when you have something that looks like this, ax squared plus bx plus c, this is a polynomial. You can factor it out, and you'll have two factors. One thing that you want to make sure that you have is that your polynomial is in this order. This is called standard form, where it goes from highest exponent to least. And a, b, and c, these are going to be numbers, so you'll have constants in here that'll either be positive or negative. One thing that I kind of like you guys to do is when you get your polynomial here, kind of do this, like a is equal to, b is equal to, c is equal to, and just list whatever numbers they are. It'll make it easier when you start doing this down here. So the first thing you always want to do is factor out your GCF. If you don't know how to do that, refer to the previous videos. Make your table. What I mean by table is this right here. You're going to create a little t-chart. You're going to multiply a times c, and you're going to put whatever number that is here. And then you're going to list the factors. That's what, write your factors here. And you're going to find which factors sum to this number b. So you're going to have factors here like 2 times 3, 4 times 7, whatever. And then you're going to add them across, okay? And I'll show you that. Then you're going to write your factors. Your factors need to be in this form, where you have x plus factor 1 over a times x plus factor 2 over a. So by factors, I mean here. So here you're going to have like factor 1 times factor 2, whatever. You'll have different numbers here, but that's what I mean by factor 1 and factor 2. So these numbers here will go up here, and you're going to keep the sign. So if this is positive, this would be plus. If it was negative, this would be negative. And then you're just going to divide by whatever a is your leading coefficient. All right, so it's kind of confusing. It'll make more sense as I go through the examples, but you need to make sure that you know what the table is and what your factor setup needs to be. All right, so let's just get into it. I have this polynomial here, 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. I have the steps here. So the first thing you want to do is write your a, b, and c just so you know what they are. So my a here is 3, my b is 10, and my c is 8. So yeah, first thing we want to do is find GCF. Is there a common factor between 3, 10, and 8? No, there's none. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our table. I have a times c over here and b over here. So we're going to do 3 times 8 is equal to 24. Okay, so I need to list the factors of 24. That's what I'm going to put in here. These are the factors of 24. So this is positive, so I know I have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. Okay, this is pretty easy because this is positive, so we're all just going to have positive factors here. There we go. Then you're going to list your b here. Okay, so I know b is 10. So we're looking for the factors of 24, so these are the factors that sum to 10. So when you come over here, you're going to add. So on this side, you're going to add factors. So 1 plus 24, that's 25. Okay, does 25 equal 10? No, no bueno. 2 plus 12 is 14. Does 14 equal 10? No. 8 plus 3 is 11. Doesn't equal 10. No good. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. You're looking for the factors of 24 that sum to your b term. So this is good. This is what we're going to use. Okay, now that is factor 1 and that is factor 2. Okay, so step 3, we did our table, we found our factors. Step 3, oh, what did I do this? I haven't done this yet. Okay, so step 3 is to write your factors. So you know that it's x plus factor 1 over a times x plus factor 2 over a. So then you're just going to fill it in. X or whatever variable you're using. So if this is like a or p, you would put whatever that is. My first factor is positive, so it's plus 4 over a is 3. That's my first one. My second one is x. My factor here is positive, so it's plus 6 over a, which is 3. Okay, a lot of you guys will forget to put this a value down here. Don't forget to do that because then you won't get your answer right. Okay, so we did our factors. The next step is to simplify, and this is one of the most important steps. If you forget to simplify, you will not have a correct answer. Okay, so when we simplify here, 4 does not simplify. 4 over 3 does not simplify, but 6 over 3 does. That's x plus 2. Okay, so then our third step is bottoms up. What that means is whatever value you have in your denominator or your bottom, you're going to move it up to the front of the coefficient right there. So you're going to have 3x plus 4 times x plus 2. And that's it. If you want, you can check your work. So in order to check your work, you just FOIL. So you would just multiply it out. So I'm just going to write it out so it doesn't mess everything up. Okay, so this is your answer. If you want to check your work, you multiply. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 2 is plus 6x. 4 times x is plus 4x. And 4 times 2 is plus 8. Combine your like terms. 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. That's our original value, so we're good. All right, so that's all we're doing. I have a few more examples for you. So same thing here. So step 1 is to look for your GCF. So do we have a GCF here? Can you divide anything between 5, 17, and 6? No. Okay, so 2, you're going to do your table. So A is 5, B is negative 17, and C is equal to 6. So in your table, this is A times C, which is going to be 5 times 6, which is 30. So we're looking for the factors of 30. So right here, these are your factors. Okay, so we're looking for the factors of 30 that sum to B, which is negative 17. So you have to add your factors across here. So one thing that you want to do is really look at these numbers. So we know that this needs to be negative. If this is negative, we know that both of our factors here need to be negative, because if I have two negative numbers multiplied, they equal a positive. So some of your factors might be like 15 times 2. Well, if you add 15 and 2, that's positive 17. That's no good. Okay, we need a negative. So I could do negative 15 times negative 2. A negative 15 times a negative 2 gives you a positive 30. But if you add a negative 15 minus 2, that gives you a negative 17. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So if this is positive and this is negative, you should know that both of your factors are going to be negative. That's kind of like a trick that you can use, or like a red flag. Okay, so you have your two factors. So we did our table. Next step is to write your factors. Okay, so x plus factor 1 over a times x plus factor 2 over a. You have to keep in mind that your signs correlate to your factors. So we're not using x, we're using n. So we have n, this is negative, so minus factor 1 over a, which is 5, times n, this is also minus factor 2 over a, which is 5. Okay, so step 3 is done. Step 4, which is the most important one, you have to simplify. Okay, 15 divided by 3 is 3. 2 over 5 does not simplify. So then from here, last step is to do bottoms up. You take any denominators that you have, anything in the bottom, and you're going to move it up to the coefficient. N minus 3 times 5n minus 2. And that's your answer. As always, you can check your work. You're going to multiply n minus 3 times 5n minus 2. FOIL n times 5n is 5n squared. N times negative 2 is negative 2n. Negative 15n plus 6. Combine your like terms, 5n squared minus 17n plus 6. It matches up over here, so we're good to go. So we know our answer is correct. Okay, This last example is pretty important. One thing that you need to know when you're factoring out, you cannot have a negative here. So make sure that you know that, okay? A cannot be negative. So whether or not you have a GCF, if this is negative, you have to take out a -1, no matter what. So here what we're going to do for step 1, which is GCF, we are going to take 1 out. It's going to be negative, and if you look at this, you can see, okay, I can divide all of this by 2. So my GCF here is going to be a -2. If I take out a -2, what's left over is going to be m squared if I divide 22 by -2. Because remember, when you take out the GCF, you're dividing each term by a -2. This becomes positive. Positive 22 divided by -2 becomes -11m. -56 divided by -2 becomes a positive 28.
Go home.
Oh, I know. Sorry guys, so this is what we have left over, right? 16, 4, 5, okay. So when you move on from here, you're only going to use this part to do your table, but you can't forget about that -2. It's just going to kind of hang out. So when we do our step 3, when you write your factors over here, you're going to have this -2 on the outside, and you can't forget it. A lot of times you guys will forget it, but don't. Okay, when you check your work, you'll catch that that won't be there, and then, you'll know that something's not right. But if you don't check your work, you'll miss it if you forget to write it down. So then from here, we do our table. Okay, and we're going to use these terms. From here, our A is equal to 1, our B is -11, and our C is equal to 28. Okay, if you don't take out your GCF when you do your table, you're going to be stuck with these really big numbers, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so we have A times C, so we have 1 times 28, so we're looking for the factors of 28 that sum to -11. This is positive and this is negative, which means that one of your factors over here is going to have to be a negative number. So if we think of our factors of 28, you have like 1 and 28. So you could have like 1 and 28. Oh no, that's not right. Both of these are going to have to be negative, which gives you 29. Or you could do like -1 times -28, which is going to give you -29. So those are no good. So we keep going. I'm going to do 4 and 7. So 4 times -4 times -7. It gives me positive 28. So 7, okay, so that gives me -11. There you go, okay. So those are the factors that I'm going to use. I can go ahead and plug them in here. I'm not using x, I'm using m. So you have factor 1 and factor 2 here. This is going to be minus 4 over a, which is 1. And then we have m minus 7 over a. Okay, factor 1 over a, factor 2 over a. And then you simplify. So this -2 is just going to keep coming down. M minus 4, m minus 7, and then that's it. So that's your answer. Okay. If you want to check, you always can. First you would FOIL. Well, I guess it wouldn't matter. You would FOIL and multiply by -2 or distribute there and then FOIL. I'm going to FOIL first. -2, m minus 4, m minus 7. I'm going to have -2 times m squared minus 7m minus 4m plus 28. Combine like terms. M squared minus 11m plus 28, which gives us this. And then multiply by -2, which gives you -2m squared plus 22m minus 56. Okay, so this checks out with our original equation, and you know you're right. All right, here's some practice problems. If you have any questions, let me know, shoot me a remind, or ask me in class.